Welcome. You would have joined this workshop, been given relevant codes. To the left of the class is a quiz area. Once you do complete this, please do contact team at thedigitalpsychic.com. You would have received a certification of completion once you've done that. Now you have to get over 85%. You're welcome to continue development with me and request to join Facebook Messenger practice area. Please do contact Rachel Gibson BA Honours page. I hope you enjoy the workshop short course. I do use various resources and discuss via webinar, bringing you useful resources from the internet and collaborating it with my own experiences. So, crystal healing is an energy-based system. This means it's based on the belief that we are all made of different energies. And when this becomes stagnant, unbalanced, or blocked, it can cause illnesses. The premise is that crystals can unblock, balance, and direct energy where it is most needed, gently supporting the body to heal in a therapeutic way. So, as with crystals, they basically speak to you. So when you're actually getting a crystal, what you need to be doing is calling it out, speaking to it, getting to know it essentially, you know, knowing if it is drawn to you. That's very, very important. So crystal healing is based on that energy, meaning based on beliefs that we're all made up of these different energies. And essentially, that's what crystal energy is. Now, you know, at the end of the day, I have crystals and stuff like that. And what I do is energize them. So it's the energy force that actually helps us magnify the beautiful auras and feelings of these wonderful crystals. Also, you know, you can have crystals for chakra cleansing. You can have crystals in your work if you're using it in Reiki, and also if you're using it in animal Reiki too. We'll move on. So different types of crystals are thought to have different properties, obviously, and just holding and being near crystals is therefore thought to affect energies on a physical, spiritual, and emotional level. Crystal healers have immense knowledge of the various stones and how they can affect us, and are able to use them in healing. So we use them in advanced angel therapy. We use them also in Reiki. Various ways of using them, different ways it can be done, but the most common is to have the client lie down, place the crystals on or around them in a certain way. The types of crystals used and positioning of them depends on the client and what they're seeking support for, and can range from physical concerns such as headaches and stress to even more emotional or in spiritual imbalances. You have to tailor your sessions. It's very important that your sessions are tailored to your client. So it depends in various nature of the client's concerns. The session should begin with a consultation, intake forms, and also discuss what it is that they require as part of any treatment. In addition, you must discuss the confidentiality and the assurance that the client feels comfortable, and if they're not feeling comfortable, to stop treatment. Crystal healing is a complementary, it's natural approach, meaning it can be used alongside any traditional medicine, has no negative side effects. This has been debated for so many years, and the nurture-nature debate is discussed throughout all holistic modalities, and many modalities. It's imperative to ensure that your clients understand if they have a medical condition that should need medical advice. Perhaps the most common benefit reported is the deep relaxation that takes place during a session. And this type of relaxation does help aid general well-being, and in particular useful when treating stress and anxiety conditions. Vibration is everything, so the vibration of all crystals are unique energy. Energy is frequency. Oh my gosh, can you hear it? Dee's out there strumming away. That's vibration. Crystals for thousands of years have been used to bestow the protection, strength, and healing. And there are evidence dating back from 60,000 years ago that pebbles, fossils, and ivories were actually worn as ornaments by ancient man. And there are medical treatises written from the 12th to 18th century detailing the use of the crystals in treatment for certain alignments and mental conditions. And many other qualities and meanings, attribute to crystals today have been recognized for hundreds and sometimes thousands of years. The Egyptians, for instance, left vast records of history and many incidences of them using crystals in jewelry and headwear. And the crystal form as a process called nucleation, and that takes place in solutions containing high concentration of the solute. Once the nucleus is formed, the solute particles bind it together, therefore causing what is classed as a growth of the crystal. There's also an effect, and that's the ability of certain materials to generate the electrical charge in response to applied mechanical stress. Okay, so what we're going to do there is, if you would kindly go onto this link, you can get it on the PDF which is left in the classroom area. So there's 7 basic crystal shapes: cubic, triangular, hexagon, triangular, triclinic and monoclinic. And crystal shapes are determined by one of 7 crystal lattice systems, which are used to describe a crystal's geometric system. So the 7 crystal systems are a method of classifying those crystals according to their atomic lattice or structure. And the atomic lattice is 3-dimensional networks of atoms that are arranged in a symmetrical pattern. And the shape of the lattice determines not only which crystal systems the stone belongs to, but also physical properties and appearance. It is crystal healing practices, the symmetry of the crystal, which is believed to directly influence its metaphysical properties. For example, crystals in the cubic system are believed to be for grounding because the cube is a symbol of the element of earth. Also a link here at the bottom is where I will source information, and also, as you can see, will be in Easy Class. So placing crystals on the body. The placing of crystals on the client's body and within non-physical transpersonal fields of energy above the head, for example, helps to assist the client in ways that are very individual to their own needs. And then aligning the crystals is essential. Now, you can use crystals and advanced crystals and use it in tarot. So we're going to look at how you would use crystals in tarot cards. For instance, the Fool is the crystal quartz, the Magician is carnelian, the High Priestess is amethyst, the Empress is jade, the Emperor turquoise, the Hierophant is lapis, Lovers is rose quartz, and I've got that from the Crystal Bible by Judy Hall, 2003. The Chariot is rutilized quartz, Justice is banded agate, the Wheel of Fortune is green aperturine, Strength is malachite, and the Hangman's bloodstone, Death jet, Temperance blue lace, and the Devil is red jasper. The Tower, Blade Porskin jasper, the Star citron, the Moon moonstone, the Sun amber, Judgment is hawk's eye, and World is aquamarine. So what you do is read your crystals with the tarot. You place the 22 stones in a bag, and you ask and concentrate on an issue or question. Put your hand and right with into the bag, touch each crystal, and you pull the crystal that feels right. Read its tarot meaning and then hold in the cupped hands. Visualize that meaning and then place on the table, and keep choosing a stone for best action. The Fool would represent true to self, new beginnings. The Magician is to represent creativity, passion, put new ideas into action. The High Priestess is to follow own path. The Empress is mother and nurturing care for self and others. The Emperor is taking the lead and takes charge, and the Hierophant is furthering and ambition. The Lovers is love, romance, and family. The Chariot, travel and chosen change. The Wheel of Fortune is good luck, strength, weaving through difficult times. The Hangman is letting go and moving on, and Death is new beginnings. Temperance, harmony and peace, and the Devil is suppressed anger and time to cleanse. The Tower is freedom from restrictions. The Star, recognition and achieving dreams. The Moon is fertility and newness. The Sun, health and prosperity. Judgment, accept mistakes, and the World is relocation and new locations. Now, spell casting with crystals. What you do is you choose a crystal, and each crystal has its own magical meaning. Carnelian is for courage and confidence, amber for fertility, and also you can use rose quartz. Use a white candle to attract good things, and dark purple or blue if you wanted to bind or banish anybody. If you are binding, you'll also need earth to remove energy into it. So what you actually do is, if you're doing a spell for earth, for instance, what you would do is then, if you're putting it into the cauldron, you return it to the earth. You light the candle to put the spell energies into motion and say what it is that you desire. Pass the crystal clockwise 9 times in a circle above the candle flame and repeat it as a short phrase what it is that you desire. You toss the candle up and down and you repeat the words. It's a very simple spell with crystals. Then what you do is you call out the spirit guides, and as fast as possible you blow out the candle, still holding the crystal, to attract a wish. To banish or bind something, do not blow out the candle, but transfer the crystal you do not write with. Push the flame candle out into the earth into a bowl or sand with a hand you write with, and carry that crystal as a symbol of what it is you desire. And for binding and banishing, bury the crystal immediately, and anything, if you've done cauldron work, put it into the earth. You can also put it under running water, the crystal, and out into you put it into the freezer. If you're trying to freeze somebody, wanting to not do something to you, put it into the freezer essentially. Crystal exhalers. Crystals infuse exhalers empowered water that has been filled with spiritual energy of crystals by soaking a crystal into water. The infused water acts as a vehicle for vibrations of the crystal, which interacts with the person's energy auric field. Making crystal exhalers, what you do is get a round tumbled crystal the size of a coin, which will infuse a normal sized glass or bottle of water. You add 2 crystals, each of the same kind or with different properties, to quantities of water up to 500 to 600 ml. You work with 3 small crystals, the same kind of mix, for up to 100 ml. Increase the number of crystals proportionately if you want bigger quantities. Is the crystal or crystals under running water? You put them under running water and you place the crystals in the water using a pair of tongs. Still mineral or distilled or filter water is very good. And then you cover the container to put the lid back on. Hold the sealed container between your hands, stating the purpose of the exhaler, intention for the benefit of such and such, and then you leave the water and crystal in a refrigerator overnight. Unless you have made a glass of exhaler to drink immediately, pour the water in suitable containers when you wake, and then you remove the crystal. Crystal waters keep their full power for up to 24 hours. For crystals, always look at anything that's toxic and never pursue. For more dynamic, faster healing, what you can do is create your own layout from 6 to 8 crystal points in a crystal layout. Set the point facing upwards to remove any illnesses. Point outwards to balance and remove any blockages, and call upon the angels and give intentions. Now, cleansing your own stones is so important. Clearing and cleansing stones is way to clear energy. When you first get your crystals, it's so important to cleanse them from negative energy or from other energy with which they might be charged. Cleanse them after others have touched them and used them. Always cleanse new crystals, and the methods of cleansing water is a very popular way to cleanse crystals. Hold the crystal in your hands and put it under fresh running water or sage. Activating crystals is very easily. You basically cleanse the quartz of an unwanted energy it may have picked up. Hold the quartz in your hand and concentrate on intention. If you wish to use the quartz for healing a specific problem, give that idea in your mind. Place the crystal on a soft cloth in a place where it receives moonlight overnight or sunlight all day, and you can also imbue it with rays of both moonlight and sunlight. It does depend largely on what the purpose of the quartz is, but it is to do with your belief system, and it's effectively the intention you're putting into it. Keeping your crystals is very important to store them. First, you want to make sure your crystals are separated into main groups. Then, depending on how many crystals you have, you can further divide the main groups of crystals into smaller sections. You can get drawstring bags, pouches made of velvet, and the thicker the material, the more protective obviously it is. Some people use them. Also wooden boxes and things like that, and organising the crystals in different sets, the chakra crystal sets, example, different colours, or if you've got all clear quartz crystals, put them all together. You may already have a storage in the form of chest of drawers, but whatever it is that you decide, make sure that you do store them, because sometimes crystals are very fragile. Crystal altars, crystal altar and seeing it on a daily basis actually shows your mind the importance and the significance of those crystals and the intentions that you hold. So with that placement of every crystal and symbolic item on the sacred altar, you're putting out essentially the energy of your intention into the universe. And your altar can be large or small, simple, elaborate, indoors or outdoors. When picking stones, pick a stone, you place it in your hands and you close your eyes. Concentrate on what the stone is telling you. You feel it would be a good stone or a bad stone? If yes, place it on one side. Continue throughout all the stones. You can choose to program a particular stone for any specific task. Always visualize, feel the energy, look at it carefully as you turn it around and put it into your hands with deep breaths and concentrating on what you want to program. Focusing that intention and visualizing desire. The crystal is never programmed until you do deprogram it. Here is the dictionary of crystals, which is also in the library area to the left of these class library. Okay, we're going to look at healing with the layout. You or the person should lie flat with the head slightly propped up for a shorter treatment and arrange the crystals around a chair. Ask the client to hold the central crystal of set in under the middle of the chair. If the grid is on the floor, visualize light rays using your crystal wand. That's it. That's about crystals. There's so many different ways, obviously, of working with crystals. But, you know, Stephanie was here, but I've just wrapped up, Steph. So it's wrap up time. I hope you enjoy the workshop short course. You would have had a code to Easy Class. Once completed, please go to Facebook, Rachel Gibson, VA Honours. Private message, contact me, team@thedigitalpsychic.com. If you would like to join Messenger, we've a great community online for social learning and meeting new people. To the left of Easy Class and before towards a quiz, please do complete this. You can also join me on SAB, the Spiritual Academy of Angel Beach, which is the subsidiary of Rachel Gibson, the Digital Psychic, founder of the Facebook group Social Learning Project. As with anything, research is fundamental. Working with crystals is very easy, but the most main thing about crystals is learning every single type of crystal, importing that into the work already that you do. So you'll be using it in advanced angels, working with angels, using it in Reiki, especially the chakra stones and stuff like that. But all the subject areas sort of crisscross over each other, so it's very important. Like crystal grids, things like that are really cool. Using crystal wands, always intention, check your regulations and all of those wonderful things. Thank you for joining me.